Hey everyone, this is Steven here, back at it again with another video. In today's video, we're going to look at a recent card show that I went to. We're going to go over some of my takeaways from that card show, and then we're also going to look at some of my pickups and trades that I made at that card show. But before we get into that, if you enjoy this type of content and would like to see more in the future, please feel free to hit the like button and also subscribe. So now that we got all of that out of the way, we can get into the actual video here. And the main goal and purpose of this video is to talk about a recent card show that I went to. We're going to be looking at some footage of the actual booths. We're going to be talking about my experience. And then at the end of the video, we're going to go over some trades and pickups that I had at the card show. We're going to start off with just talking about the overall atmosphere of the card show. This card show was in Everett, Washington, which is about 45 minutes north of Seattle, Washington. And this is put on by Twin Oaks. They have 3 other shows in the Washington area. Auburn, Washington, which is about 50 minutes south of Seattle. Bellevue, Washington, which is about 45 minutes east of Seattle. And then Everett, which is the one I went to, which is about 45 to 50 minutes north of Seattle. I typically go to the Auburn one, which is south of Seattle. However, they did expand it up to this Everett location, so I figured I would check it out. My first takeaway of this show is it was a lot smaller than the one that they normally do down in Auburn. And I was talking to a couple other people there, and they said the same thing, that there's just not as big of a turnout in the card show that is up in Everett, which is north of Seattle. So that could just be a location thing where the people are traveling in from. But again, it just wasn't the biggest turnout and nothing near the size of the Auburn show, which is the show south of Seattle that I typically go to. Another thing that I noticed is that I would say probably 40, if not a little bit more % of the cards there were basketball. So it was very heavy in basketball. And then I would say another 30 to 40% of that was football cards. And then I was kind of surprised with the amount of baseball cards, where there is a lot lower than I'm used to seeing at some of these card shows in the Washington area. It definitely seemed like this card show in specific was more geared towards football and mainly basketball cards. There were some baseball cards, but just not as much as I'm used to seeing. So that is another thing that I did want to mention. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that I did actually bring some cards to potentially trade at the card show, which I've never done before. And I did want to go over some of the cards that I brought and just some of the reactions I had from some of the dealers. So I did bring some baseball cards. I brought this 1989 Topps Tiffany Randy Johnson, Barry Bonds Topps Tiffany rookie card, both in PSA 8s, so not the highest grades there. I brought this Juan Soto PSA 9 Topps Chrome rookie card, and then also the Juan Soto Topps Update base rookie card and the Ronald Acuna bat up, so not the short print. This is just his base rookie card in a PSA 9. So I brought these cards. These two, a couple people were interested in these, but nothing really serious. They're just more, it was more along the lines that they haven't seen these at a show in a very long time. So there's not really a lot of interest in these two. And I was kind of surprised with the lack of interest in these cards. I did have one dealer that was really interested in this Soto card, but the offer that he gave me was much lower than what I was expecting. So to me, I just figured that I would just hold on to this card because I do think that this card is pretty undervalued right now. But I was really surprised that these two cards pretty much had no interest, which I understand that the pop counts on these two cards are extremely high, but I would just think from a dealer's perspective that these cards would be extremely easy to sell for these specific dealers, as these are two of the brightest young stars in the game. But I did think that that was pretty interesting to see that no one was interested in these two cards. Some of the other cards I brought were this 2018 Panini Prizm Josh Allen. This is an SGC 9. And then I also brought a Sam Darnold Prizm rookie card in a BGS 9. And pretty much every vendor or every dealer that I went to, there's a lot of interest in the football cards between the Darnold and also the Josh Allen. And then a disclaimer, I did end up trading away the Sam Darnold BGS 9. So stay tuned until the end of the video to check out what I traded it for. And then there definitely was a lot of interest in this Josh Allen rookie card, but no deals were made or anything like that. But just looking at some of the cards that I brought, it definitely seemed like there's a lot more interest in football cards right now than baseball cards. The main takeaways from the card show was that the attendance was a lot lower than some of the shows that I've been to down south. Another takeaway would be that it was very heavy in football and also basketball cards, mainly basketball cards. And then also there was not really a lot of interest or cards there that were related to baseball. I mean, there were some baseball cards, but not as much as I'm used to seeing. So those are the main takeaways I've had from the show. Now we're going to switch over to looking at some of the actual footage I took at the show. I find it extremely awkward to film out in public like this. I'm just not a fan of it. I think it's pretty uncomfortable filming other people's booths and also asking for their permission. There's other people there looking at cards, so the whole thing is just a little awkward. So I do apologize in advance if it's a little shaky or not the best footage. I did want to try to capture a little bit, but I'm going to switch over to that footage right now. And then after that, we're going to look at a couple of pickups I had at the card show. So I hope you enjoyed the footage of the card show. Again, I do apologize if it was a little shaky. I'm not the biggest fan of filming out in public, but it is what it is at this point. Now we're going to go over some of the trades and pickups I had at the card show. I'm going to start off with mentioning that I did have that Sam Darnold Panini Prizm rookie card in a BGS 9. I ended up trading that away for a trade value of $45. And I also gave an additional $30 in cash. So it's the $45 Sam Darnold trade value plus $30 in cash. And that got me this 2019 Bowman Mega Box Chrome Julio Rodriguez first Bowman card. And this one is in a PSA 9. Now, I'm not the biggest prospector or anything like that. The Seattle Mariners are my favorite baseball team, and I just figured it would be a good time to pick up some Julio Rodriguez first Bowman cards and just hope that he pans out, as he is a pretty highly rated prospect for the Seattle Mariners. So I did want to add a couple of his cards to my collection. So I was able to trade away the BGS 9 with no subgrades, which hurt the value of the card a little bit, of Sam Darnold for $45 plus an additional $30 in cash to pick up this card here. Another pickup I had was this 2018 Panini Hoops, and this is Luka Doncic, and this is a rookie card in a PSA 9. The list price on this card was $90. I ended up picking this up for $80. And I only have one Luka rookie card as of right now. I really like Luka as a player. I've seen him play live in Dallas, which is really cool to watch, and I just think he has a lot of upside. So I ended up picking up this rookie card here for $80, which I'm pretty happy about, even though this one is highly produced. It's one of his lower end rookie cards. I just thought it would be a cool one to add to the collection. Another thing that I found pretty interesting was that the owner of this card actually was interested in this Juan Soto Topps Chrome rookie card in a PSA 9, and he actually was willing to trade. So I would give him this card, plus I would have to pay an additional $10 to get this card, which seems outrageous to me because over the long term, I would much rather have this Juan Soto Topps Chrome rookie card. So I did think that that was pretty interesting, again, how undervalued and limited baseball cards were at the card show, and I did not accept that offer because I would just much rather hold on to the Juan Soto over the long term or look for another trade down the line. So I just ended up purchasing this card with about $10 off, so $80. And this is just another card that's going to go in my collection. And then the last thing I picked up was this Select Basketball blaster box. Now I probably overpaid for this, but I'm not able to get cards. They're not selling cards in stores anymore. It's pretty hard to get them online for me because I'm in the West Coast, so I'm not able to get up early enough to pick up any of the cards in stock. So I just picked up this Select Basketball blaster box here. Maybe I'll open this up on the channel at some point, but I did want to just pick up this blaster box. So those are the main pickups I had at the card show. Not a lot of pickups, as it was mainly just basketball and football cards. I'm more interested in baseball cards at the moment, so I didn't do a lot of shopping there, but I did want to just go over my thoughts and go over some of the pickups I had. I really hope you enjoyed today's video and found it somewhat entertaining. If you did, please feel free to hit the like button and also subscribe. Thanks, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.